Hul'qumi'num, Hul'qumi'num, and the siwit to need to not snanemo. You went when it's eyes to squello and suck the solelo. High tapka siamnit what inamet at na quail. To qualma qual tamo up the snanemo, misteo. High tapka siam. When it's imish to stay wheel smells and up the shade when I'm at the CIs.
My name is Levi Wilson. I'm a member of the Galiano First Nation with strong familial and cultural ties to the Lamulcha people from what's now the south end of Penelakut Island. I'd like to acknowledge that we are meeting today on the shared, asserted, and unceded traditional territories of the Lamulcha, Penelakut, and Hul'qumi'num First Nations, other Hul'qumi'num speaking peoples, Tsencotton and Wet'suwet'en speaking peoples, and any others with rights and responsibilities in and around what is now called Galiano Island. I would also like to acknowledge that this is the ceded territory of the Tsleil-waututh First Nation. I'd like to acknowledge the privilege of living, learning, caring for one another in the land on their shared traditional territories.
It's very important for people to know whose land they're standing on, who comes from here.
Every beach, every creek, every river, every hill, every village site had a place name. It was named, it had a name, because it had a purpose and it had a meaning for our people. And I think that's kind of the respect that we want, that we were here and we had those names.
I want to be mindful of the fact that there's a set of relationships here that I know little about and that I can learn about them as I acknowledge and then do the points of inquiry that will help me to deepen that knowledge as time goes along, so it's not just pro forma or on the surface.
The invitation to acknowledge, I think it has to be sincere. It's because we want to acknowledge you and build a relationship and a friendship.
When I do my acknowledgement, I try to make it as broad strokes as possible and as inclusive as possible to acknowledge that history.
You don't write it, take it off a piece of paper. It's not standard. But go and find out whose land it is. And you acknowledge them. And you speak from your heart.
I think it's important to acknowledge. It's just simply out of respect. It's how we get along better.
So there's an importance of understanding the place and doing a little bit of research to find out who is here and around so that you can use the words that best express your understanding of who's in this place, who belongs of this place, and who continues to be a part of this place.
I look to my ancestors, my family, and the old ones that aren't here anymore. I'm speaking to them, and I'm thanking them for letting me be back here on their land.
First, you have to introduce yourself, where you come from, who you are. That's important. Then you have to introduce the elders. You have to thank the people on behalf of the elders. And then you have to acknowledge what we call Tatas Misteo, the old people that, those who fell from the sky, those who descended from the creatures that crawled up from the seas and down the mountains.
This is always going to be Penelakut territory where we are. And I want my kids and my grandkids, my great-grandkids and so on to know that. And I need the people that are staying on the land to know that too.
Our Chilengan is our birthright. It's what I can't give away or I can't sell because my children have Chilengan, their birthright. So whatever is harvested in the ocean, crabs, clams, seals even, fish, whatever, they have a right to it.
I think it's important for people to be mindful of their relationships when they're in a place. And so, I'm a Ojibwe from Ontario, and so when I come here, I want to be mindful of the fact that there's a set of relationships here that I know little about.
All the other nations around us, we're connected to them. We're all connected. So for myself, as long as I acknowledge the old ones and the people that were on this land before us, I believe I'm honoring all of the people of the Salish seas.
I think in a way that them standing up and acknowledging it, it's not so much giving up anything. I think it's uniting us because we have to move forward together.
Given the complexity of the circumstances of the different nations' relationships to the territory, I think an expression of humility on the part of the person giving the acknowledgements would often be warranted. That they're still learning, that there's possibilities that mistakes can be made.
That deep discomfort, and when you see it, goes a long ways. It means that they're being impacted by what they're saying.
Keep taking steps, coming to learn about our history, wanting to learn how our land was taken from us, learning that truth. When you can face the ugly truth, then you know they're more willing to work with us.
Acknowledgements are the easiest way to engage with our shared history, our colonial history, our Indigenous history, the everything that in that chronological sense brought us to now. And so when you acknowledge territory, you're actually embracing that history and being willing to engage and discuss with that history. And in that moment, take a stand for learning and understanding and caring.